Hey.
Thanks so much for joining me today down at Empire Bay. You are a wonderful yoga teacher and acro teacher and own your own entertainment company. I know that's a lot. Can you tell us where it all began?
So probably all began on the monkey bars at school. I loved hanging off things and jumping around, doing handstands and cartwheels, and really loved the just moving in my body. I was really lucky to have parents who let me pursue whatever I wanted to do. So by the time I got to 15 and I was able to do yoga at school at Sydney Girls High School, I fell in love with it and continued to do it term after term, despite the fact that I shouldn't really have been, because I loved it so much. With the yoga came something different beyond the physicality of the movement. I even remember one day actually watching myself doing yoga. I have this memory from when I was 15, actually being aware that I wasn't thinking anymore, and that's a lot for a teenage girl. And that I had this sense of spaciousness in my mind and relaxation in my body. And from that moment, I just kept going back and back and back to that place. I was really curious about how to create more of that in my life and then share it with other people. So by the time I was out of school, I traveled to India. I did my first yoga teacher training there, and then I went to London. I studied shiatsu. I studied naturopathy at Lismore Uni. I continued to study Reiki, all my certifications up into the master level in London, and the list goes on. I was hungry for knowledge of how I could find this space of ultimate no mind, as well as optimizing the health and energy in my body, and then how could I share it with people.
That's incredible. How did you go from yoga to the acrobatic side of things, which is the acro yoga as well, tying in with your entertainment company, stilts and all that? What was the leap?
Well, I did a lot of the acro with the circus that I was also developing at the same time. So I studied dance at the conservatorium, also was street performing at the same time as all of this was happening. And by the time I was, how old would I have been? Like, it would have been 8 or 9 years ago, I discovered acro yoga. So that brought together the acro and the yoga in one place. And from that point onwards, it's become my world.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Do you want to tell me, because there's a boom of yoga, in my opinion, around the world right now. Why are people paying attention or craving it, in your experience?
Good marketing.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Nice and honest.
Look, I think that technology is evolving exponentially at the moment, and that our attention is being drawn to external distractions more and more than ever, and that people are intuitively yearning to bring their attention back into their internal processes. And yoga is one way that we can do this. And I think people want to create a different narrative about themselves that isn't dictated by what the external environment is telling them or their reaction to that, and become more connected to who they are, what their story is, and find a way to listen to their own inner knowing and know themselves in amongst all of this.
Absolutely. How does unifying the breath and movement differ, where, you know, people go to the gym and they're just kind of moving but not really conscious about their breath? Like, I don't know much about yoga, but I do know that breath and unification of movements is a strong thread. How does that affect us in your experience?
So the objective of yoga is to still the fluctuations of the mind. In the scriptures it says yogas chittas vritti nirodha. So when we coordinate the breath and the movement together, we place our attention on our physiological and physical processes. So we bring our attention away from the fluctuations of the mind and into this flow of being embodied, being connected to what's happening inside ourselves. And this brings a different level of awareness of how we experience ourselves in the world, because we're not experiencing ourselves from our thoughts and our mind, we're experiencing ourselves from our body and our being.
So for you, you've always married the spiritual side of yoga with the physical? Has it always been like that for you, or?
Yeah, I mean, and as you can see, I've really balanced a lot of my training. So I've done a lot of acrobatic training, but I've also done a lot of internal qigong.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of Reiki healing. I've done a lot of massage work. I've done a lot of breath work. I do a lot of visualization and meditation, and this is a big part of my daily practice. It's the part that probably nourishes me the most. It's the part that integrates everything. We can really cleanse our body with a lot of physical practice to give space to then connect with our inner knowing. And so I see it as like an emotional, mental and physical fitness program.
Wow. With the acro, why do you think it brings people together? Obviously there's the obvious close physicality, but you see partnerships creating a new bond. Why does that happen? Why is acro so special?
Well, if you think about it, you've got someone on the ground who is holding up another person's entire weight off the ground with their hands and their feet. And that person is being held off the ground by the person. And so in order to do this, you need a lot of trust and you need a lot of support. Like, it's intrinsically built into the practice. And without this, we couldn't balance. So from when we're first born, the most important fundamental aspect of a secure, safe relationship is trust.
Absolutely.
If you don't trust your primary caregiver, then you're going to develop anxiety, you're going to develop all sorts of maladaptive behaviors, which then don't support healthy, secure, stable relationships. So it's a blueprint for then how you operate within the context of your relationships from then on, and it develops from childhood. In Acro, we cultivate and embody these fundamental principles that we need to create stable, secure, successful relationships.
Wow, that's incredible.
So it's all inbuilt, and I think people don't, with Acro, I say there's more than meets the eye. People don't see what's going on underneath the surface. The level of connectivity isn't just physical.
And the transformation you would see with people, no doubt. Like, you would have people come to class who doubt themselves and go, oh no, I can't. And then, is that true?
Yeah, all the time. Like, they see a demonstration and you just kind of like, you see people backing towards the door.
Absolutely.
People joke about that, after they've done 6 months.
Yeah.
Because they don't realize what they can achieve. But I think that we don't realize what we can achieve with the support of other people. And so much of the time, that's why we struggle to believe that we can achieve anything, because we're led to think that we have to do everything by ourselves. And we don't always have the capacities, but with others, we can achieve a tremendous amount beyond our imagination.
Oh, that's a wonderful metaphor. In terms of your own fitness, you've been extremely fit because your job's demanding it most of your life. The discipline, how have you kept the discipline together for that?
I'd love to come up with some new amazing concept for you, but like many say, we're creatures of habit. It's habit and it's priorities. My practice really changed about 13 years ago when one of my teachers, Annie Carpenter, said to me, a minimum 7 minutes a day and you will build a regular practice. And that's what I did. And the thing is, you can always achieve 7 minutes, but that 7 minutes becomes 15, becomes 20, becomes half an hour. And then you become addicted to that. It's your habit. It's like drinking your coffee every day, and you feel like if you don't have it, there's something wrong. So it is habit. Discipline is always about habit, and it's always about prioritizing. For me, health and fitness and my insurance policy. That's what's going to help me enjoy life as long as I can. I've had I've had quite a lot of quite extreme injuries over my life. Lots of breaks to my back, my hip, my ribs, and I've needed to maintain a practice in order to allow my body to keep functioning in its optimal capacity. So in a way, it's been a blessing and a curse, as all these things always are.
Yeah, it's really inspiring. The vitality shows for sure. What was the thing? Oh yeah, the hardest thing about, because you own your own business and it's an entertainment business, what's been the hardest thing? What's about navigating that space for so many years? What's been the hardest thing? Or one of the hardest things? One of.
Look, I think you just have to wake up every day and you have to believe in yourself. And you have to trust that if you just keep working creatively every day and you just keep focusing on producing as good a work as you possibly can, then the gigs will come and the work will come and you will be financially stable. So yeah, it's just constantly having that belief in yourself. I think that's probably been the most difficult thing.
Yeah, because you've never thought, stuff this, I'm going to go and do a 9 to 5 and something else. You've always held on to that dream, haven't you?
Look, it's just in me.
Yeah.
It's who I am. You know, have I thought about that from time to time? Maybe, but it doesn't really hold on for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spend a lot of my time and have done building costumes as well, so I'm intensely creative. And I've been my own boss for way too long.
It's incredible. Because you mentioned you're studying psychology now, so do you want to talk a little bit about that?
So it was a natural progression for me from the yoga. Interestingly, and a bit ironically, yoga is about finding that place of no mind. And psychology is about the science of the mind. I believe that if we understand something well, we can not let it control us. And I think the mind is the one thing that people don't feel they have control over. So I want to understand more about the mind and how it works and how it produces the behaviors that it does, so I can continue to optimize my own health and support other people optimize their health as well.
Wow, so it's just a curiosity basically.
Yeah, I'm very curious.
Nice. Do you want to tell us about your wonderful retreats you've got going on at the moment? Give us a little spiel.
Yeah, very exciting. I haven't taught retreats for about 5 years. That's been a very big positive, a very big plus of COVID, is that not with the with the tremendous kind of, massive pause, massive stop that COVID has put on the events and entertainment industry. It's freed up some time to bring retreats back onto my schedule. And so we did one in March, 18 hours almost of acro, partner acro, massage, dance, amazing space up in the mid-north coast. Beautiful big houses to stay in, big bedrooms, llamas, tennis courts, amazing space looking over the water to practice. The most quality humans you'll ever meet, all packed together in 3 days on a superhero party. Really, it reconnected me with a deeper sense of purpose.
And there's obviously more coming. You've got more planned.
Yeah, so because it was so successful, we decided to keep them running. So we've got another one happening in September.
Okay.
And we're pretty booked out, but we're looking at other accommodation options. So if people are interested, then please get in contact, acrolife.com.au. And we're going to continue doing them because they have been proven to be such a benefit.
There's a need, so.
Like my students, my local students in the area, and then bringing together the acro community on the East Coast. So people came from Byron, from Sydney, mid-north coast, which has always been part of my Acro journey is teaching in Sydney, teaching on the mid-north coast, teaching in Byron, and really using my skills to bring people together in the community.
I just want to revert back to the start of that question. Do you want to share a little bit about how this massive pause or COVID has affected you as a small business, especially an entertainment small business?
So on paper, my income flow has dropped 80%. Yeah. I was just about to buy a house.
Wow.
We were just about to sign off. And COVID literally, suddenly, it was that week, lockdown. I lost all my income, all my regular weekly work at the casino, all my corporate gigs, everything that I'd built for 20 years.
Whoa.
And so I've been in that financial state since this has happened. Still working away, making videos, building costumes, studying psychology. I went back to uni again. I've moved my regular weekly classes, Acro classes, from Roundabout Circus to Zoom when we've needed to. Constantly adapting, constantly busy, working, being creative. But yeah, it's
tough.
From a financial point of view, it has been a significant blow.
Yeah. And there are so many people in that situation, so my heart goes out to you, because it is a big pause and you don't know when the pause is going to end.
Yeah, and there's no catch up. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Finally, you've been on the Central Coast for a long time. Do you want to tell us why you're still here and why you love it?
Because I love the beach. It's close to Sydney, where my family is. I'm a surfer. I live at McMaster's, so I've got the best of both worlds. I've got the beach and the surf, and I've got the national park. Bringing my kids up here, who are now 15 and 17, being able to pick them up from school, go to the national park, go for a swim, has created the kind of nourishment and environment that I want to bring them up in.
Yeah. But you must love the community here.
And yeah, that's the next thing that I feel really blessed to be a part of, is a creative community of well-being focused people. So it really brings all my worlds together in that sense. We've got the amazing Rendra from the Rhythm Heart, Nina Angelo, Yantra from Five Lands, Tim from In Rhythm, Modern Organic, Nurtured Organics, and the list goes on and on and on.
Exactly. Oh, well, thank you so much for having a chat with me today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me along to share my story with you.
We're going to see a little bit of Acro now with your friend. What's his name?
Mache.
Okay, epic.